Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can determine the mode using Excel, and in this case it's only not going to show you how to determine the mode if you're using binned categories. For that you will be requiring something known as frequency densities, and that would make this video way too long. If you have data like this, which is categorized, then I've shown in another video how you can determine the frequencies. So just quickly show you the formulas, but you can also watch that video in its entirety. There are a few missing values here. I'll be ignoring those. So my main issue are these frequencies. Now the frequency in itself is the frequency is the category with the highest frequency. So in this case we can actually simply see that, and it should have married as the mode. Now one way to quickly determine this is to simply select the data and then go under data and select there the sort option, and then make sure it says my data has headers, and then sort by frequency and largest to smallest. If however you insist on actually using Excel, then you can first determine the maximum frequency by simply using max and then select the range. And then we need somehow to find this frequency and actually let it return this value, and we can use a combination of index and match for that. So we're gonna index based on these, and what it needs to do is it needs to find the matching value of this one in this little array, and it should be an exact match, and I don't need any columns, so that should actually work just fine. If your data is, however, note by the way that this does not work if you have two or more categories having the highest frequency, higher than any of the others. So in that case, you what you might be able to do is do something slightly different. Add an additional column is max. So is if this one equals that one, and we need to fix that one by pressing F4, so it puts dollar signs around it everywhere. Then for example I want to see this one, otherwise it shouldn't do anything. And then enter or control enter, and then it actually shows which ones belong to the max. In this case it's only one, but now if this one for example would have had 972, then both of them would have been shown here. If you then really want them listed as just a 1, then what you can do is something like is if this one equals nothing, then nothing, else it should actually show this one, or actually the previous one, and then a comma, and then that one. And then if I drag this down, it should at the bottom simply shows, oh sorry, if it's nothing it should return the one above. That would actually work. Paste it down, and then the last one will actually show you all the modes with one extra comma, but okay, I think you get the point. Most often it's just simple to actually sort this. If, however, your data is not listed with the category names, but for example with numbers, so category 1 was married, 2 was divorced, 3 was separated, etc. I converted them here already. I've used again an index and a match on all my data points, and what this does, it will actually match the number with finding the value or the label of it, and then actually looking it up in this one and only exact matches. So that actually works. And then we can actually, instead of using the frequencies or creating a table, we can actually simply use the mode function. So the mode function works like this. We can simply type in mode and then select the entire range, and that should give us in this case 1, because that corresponded to married. Note, however, that if you have missing values being the mode, the only way to actually get rid of them or not count them is to actually delete them. So in my case, luckily 999 was set to the missing value, so I can simply delete them, and it didn't occur more often than any of the other ones. Another way of doing the mode is actually using the newer mode equals mode single, and then simply select the same range. However, if there are multiple modes, then so let's bring out an example where there are multiple modes. So let's say I have a 2, a 2, a 3, a 4, and two 5s, a 6, and a 7. Now clearly there are two 5s and two 2s, so both of them should be the mode. And the function mode unfortunately does not work on this. Also not mode single, of course. And then we can use these, and it only shows the 2 and not the 5. Now, I'm not sure in which version of Excel this came into play, but there is a relatively new function called mode mult, and that actually suggests that it would return multiple modes, but if you use it regularly, nothing will change. What you need to do is you need to estimate how many modes you think you have. Well, I know for sure I have 2, but let's just add in a few more. So select the range, then go for that mode.mult, select the range, and that's this one. And then instead of pressing enter or control enter, what you should do is control shift and then enter. And now as you can see, it actually lists nicely both of them. The range that you used and where there's nothing, you can't really change it, so you would have to then actually remove all of them. Now I know that there are 2, and then actually do the same again is mode mult, and then this one, the range, control shift enter, and now it nicely has both the 2 and the 5 as being the mode. I can then look up these values using a VLOOKUP, for example, in, for example, my original conversion, which was up here. And then I want to see the second column, and then it should only do exact matches. And that one was divorced, and this one was widowed. And that's a few ways of determining the mode using Excel. If you have an older version and you don't have the mult mode method, then I'd suggest to convert these still into a frequency table, just like here, and then use the method I explained while doing this. Hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe because that really helps out.